What's up, YouTube fam? This is your girl, Mrs. Tony Two Times, and we back with another video. Let's hear from tonight's sponsor, and then we'll jump right into it. This video is brought to you by Cool Green Clothing. Cool Green Clothing is a Baltimore-based clothing line that started back in 2018 and has been growing strong ever since. Make sure you follow Cool Green Clothing on Facebook and IG at Cool Green Clothing, and check out their website, coolgreenclothing.com, where you can find the latest cool green fashions and hats, women's apparel, and the latest men's collection. Remember, if you ain't coolin' and getting the green, you're in the way.
Yeah, shout out my nigga Cool Green on the fit though. Got me drippy, you heard?
Oh man, check out my man, yo, you feel me? Yo, be getting me right, you feel me? Big clothing for real, you feel me? Come with everything for real, I'm grabbing everything from my man, yo, you feel me? Shout out to my man, yo, you feel me? Support, you heard? Yes, sir.
Cool Green right here, Sadie. Cool Green, you already know downtown B-More, that's where we at. You already know representing New York, Harlem shit right here, uptown. But we downtown right now. You see that? My man, yo, come and get my man Cool Green. Rock it, you see it. I'm gonna make it look good for niggas to get. Daddy, sales is going up today because of the Cool Greens.
And I'm telling you, follow Cool Green Clothing. It's so important for us to support our entrepreneurs. There's so much talent in Baltimore. And as a creative entrepreneur myself, I know how hard it is. And I love to see just people going out there and going for their dreams. So let's get it. Bless up.
All right, before we get into this story, just a quick disclaimer. Please know that everyone involved in this case has already been tried and convicted and sentenced. This story is not to glorify anything, and it's a tragic story. And, you know, rest in peace and prayers to everyone who was involved. All right, now let's get right into it. 26-year-old Ramon and 28-year-old Brandon Wilder were half-brothers from Baltimore who shared a father. Their father, a Baltimore tire shop owner, insisted that he did everything he could to give his boys an opportunity to succeed outside of the streets. He gave them jobs at his shop and did his best to be present in their life, although they lived in different households. Brandon lived with his mother majority of the time, but saw his father and brother often. Ramon talked to his dad every morning just to say hello, while Brandon and his dad would mainly speak when they saw each other. Either way, in the beginning, the brothers were on good terms, it seemed like. Some would say that Ramon was the more successful of the brothers. Even though he was in the streets, he held a steady job, while Brandon had a reputation of getting high on his own supply and not being reliable or dependable. In the years leading up, they had a falling out. Some speculated that Brandon and Ramon were in competition for drug sales, and Ramon pursued women who were or had formerly been Brandon's intimate partners. So the brothers were no longer on speaking terms. Brandon had a friend named Grice, 36, and they were very close. Some would say their relationship was described as being like that of a father and son. Grice would provide anything Brandon needed and vice versa. The two were described as seeming to be together all day, every day. According to court documents, in the days before the heinous act that was committed against Ramon, Brandon complained that his brother had taken money from him and was a bad brother. Brandon said that he was going to rob him and beat him up for taking his sales. Allegedly, his friend Grice encouraged him and agreed that Ramon had been a bad brother, allegedly stating that if Ramon was his brother, he would do the same. However, Grice insisted that he had nothing to do with the motive, but rather got caught up helping a friend because he was probably too afraid to say no at the time. LaBria Page, 28 years old, had known Brandon since middle school and been involved in an intimate relationship with him off and on over the years. LaBria was an inspiring nurse and a graduate of Woodlawn High School. LaBria was said to be very caring, a sweet girl who loved to help others in need, and would have been a great nurse. In May 2014, her and Brandon got into a serious relationship, and she gave birth to his child. LaBria had first met Brandon's half-brother Ramon back in 2007. On Thursday, May 8th, 2014, Ramon surprised a girl he was romantically involved with a trip to Atlantic City for her birthday. This young woman happened to be one of Brandon's exes. They had originally planned to stay the night, but plans changed and Ramon and his companion returned to Baltimore, arriving home around 2 a.m. on the morning of May 9th, 2014. Ramon told the young woman that the limousine driver would drop him off where he had parked his rental vehicle, a pickup truck, so that he could go to his night job. At some point during the day, on May 8th, 2014, Brandon allegedly called Ramon from his girlfriend LaBria's phone while Ramon was away on his trip and put the phone to her ear. According to LaBria, Brandon wanted her to find out where Ramon was. She explained that throughout the day, Brandon, pretending to be her, sent X-rated texts to Ramon from her phone. LaBria asserted that Brandon wanted her to trick Ramon into thinking that she wanted to do it with him, to lure him into meeting her. Brandon allegedly said that he was going to rob his brother and that he was upset with Ramon for what he felt was disrespect. Now, Grice, who was Brandon's close friend at the time, allegedly egged his friend on by emphasizing the amount of disrespect his brother had been showing him. After midnight on Friday, May 9th, 2014, Brandon dropped off Grice and his girlfriend by Grice's car before LaBria and him drove to a parking lot a few blocks away, near St. Agnes Hospital, where they anticipated the rendezvous with Ramon. Brandon instructed his girlfriend and the mother of his child that when Ramon arrived, she was to lure him to her vehicle. Brandon then exited the van and walked into a nearby alley. Shortly after Brandon left, Ramon pulled up in a truck. LaBria signaled to him by flashing her headlights, and she could hear Ramon singing as he approached. Then, according to court documents, she heard shots fired and saw Ramon running away. She tried to drive away. She was stopped by Brandon, who was holding the blicky. LaBria later realized that one of the rounds had hit her car near where her son was. At this point, I'm sure LaBria was terrified and remained complicit because she didn't want to possibly lose her life or further endanger her son. Brandon jumped in his brother's rental truck and told LaBria to follow him. LaBria allegedly tried to call Ramon's phone, but Brandon answered. Now, Grice, who was parked nearby with his girlfriend, panicked when his phone rang and said that he hoped he, meaning Brandon, wasn't calling him on his, meaning Ramon's phone. From there, Grice dropped off his car and then they drove Ramon's truck to a nearby hotel next to the airport. Later, Grice, Brandon, and Grice's girlfriend met up with LaBria at an extended stay hotel where she was waiting in her van. From there, the two men drove the van while Grice and Brandon drove Ramon's truck to another hotel. They abandoned the vehicle, but not before taking some of Ramon's belongings from the truck and placing it in the van. According to court documents, once they arrived at the hotel room, Brandon allegedly told LaBria that he had shot Ramon because Ramon was too happy to have wanted to do it with her in front of their son. Overwhelmed, LaBria told Grice's girlfriend that she had lured Ramon to meet up with her by texting and calling him. The Baltimore City Police Department was hot on their trail after Ramon's body was found almost 2 hours later. LaBria later tried to file an insurance claim for the damage done to her car, but all that did was alert police because they found suspicious items related to the investigation in her car. According to court documents, Grice's girlfriend testified that when the police first interrogated her on May 8, 2014, she denied having any knowledge of Ramon's passing. Instead, she said that she was at a shop. After she was released from the interview, she told Grice that she had not said anything to the police, and he allegedly rewarded her with an expensive gift. In later interviews, however, the two women each changed their stories in regards to the slaying of Brandon's half-brother and who was responsible. Both women pleaded guilty, LaBria to murder and received 20 years, Grice's girlfriend to being an accessory after the fact and was sentenced to 2 years. The two agreed to tell their side in court for commuted sentences. As for Grice, Brandon's friend, the prosecution's theory was that he was the ringleader of the attack on Ramon. To debunk that alleged theory, Grice said that he planned to take the stand in his own defense and to testify about the nature of his relationship with Brandon, about how the relationship had fallen apart, about threats that Brandon had made against him in open court, and about a violent attack that he had suffered in jail, allegedly at his former friend's command. Grice proposed that he would present testimony about Brandon's motives to order the attack and other alleged crimes committed by Brandon. The court, however, found none of these evidences relevant. Grice ultimately did not take the stand at his trial. He was convicted of conspiracy to commit robbery and carjacking, but acquitted of all other charges, including the most serious, and was sentenced to 25 years. The jury found Brandon Wilder guilty of premeditated felony and second-degree murder, along with related robbery, carjacking, conspiracy, and weapon offenses. He was sentenced to life with the possibility of parole for the most serious charge, plus a consecutive 20 years for the attempted armed robbery, another consecutive 10 years for using a firearm, a concurrent 20 years for armed carjacking, and a concurrent 5 years for conspiracy to commit armed robbery. The other convictions were merged for sentencing purposes. Wow, guys, what a crazy story. I'm sure many of you are familiar with this tragic story about these two brothers. Ramon was talked about as a very nice guy with a caring personality and a hard worker. The brother's father doesn't agree with the narrative that his sons took the other son's life because of jealousy, but rather one was down on his luck and saw an opportunity for a quick come up. LaBria's story was also featured on For My Man on TV1. She was a promising young woman with a bright future ahead of her, where she had her own mobile food service business. Unfortunately, she made some bad choices that she regrets, and she's deeply remorseful for her role in this tragic event. Grice was also remorseful for his role in the scheme. Despite nice words and remorse, it can't undo what was done. There's so many factors to this story, it was hard to put it all in one video. Hopefully this story can shed light about how important it is to watch the people around you and pay attention to how they move and how they treat you. Are they for you or are they against you? Because hey, that's the Baltimore way. Thank you all for watching. If you made it this far, please hit that like button. Give us a thumbs up. It helps get the channel recognized. Feel free to share this video, comment down below, and share your thoughts on this story. Let us know who you want to see next. Hit that subscribe button. Tap that notification bell to stay up to date with new uploads. Thank you guys for watching once again. This is your girl, Mrs. Tony 2 Times, and I'm out.